If you had $10,000 in crypto right now, would you stake it and earn passive rewards? Or would you invest in mining rigs, pay for electricity, and go all in on proof of work? In 2017, mining made millionaires. In 2021, staking took over. But in 2025, one of them is being quietly phased out, while the other is evolving into something 10x more powerful than anyone expected. Welcome back to the channel where we decode the future of crypto and finance before the rest of the world catches up. Today, we're diving deep into a debate that's been raging since the early days of Bitcoin and Ethereum. Staking versus mining. We'll explore which earns you more passive income in 2025, which one's being crushed by regulators, and which model is quietly becoming the backbone of the decentralized internet. Whether you're a miner running GPUs or a staker holding ADA, ETH, or DIOT, this episode is your wake-up call. Let's begin with what most people ignore. Everyone talks about mining like it's still 2017, like it's still this romantic idea of plugging in a machine, solving complex math problems, and watching Bitcoin flood into your wallet while you sleep. But the reality in 2025 is far from that fantasy. Mining is no longer a game for hobbyists. It's no longer something you do from your bedroom with a fan whirring in the background and a dream in your heart. It's a cutthroat industry, a business ruled by power grids, bulk ASIC purchases, multinational contracts, and zero margins for error. Today, mining is a war of infrastructure. You're not just competing with a few other guys in a Discord chat who are trying to set up rigs in their basements. You're competing with million-dollar mining farms in Iceland, Texas, and China, even after the bans. You're up against companies that build directly next to hydroelectric dams, locking in industrial electricity rate that the average person can't even imagine accessing. These farms aren't just running a few machines, they're operating thousands. And in 2025, with the most recent Bitcoin halving slicing rewards down to 3.125 BTC per block, that scale is now essential just to stay alive. What used to be a gold rush is now a bloodbath. The cost of mining gear has only gone up. A single Antminer S21 might cost you upwards of $6,000 to $8,000, assuming you can even get your hands on one before bulk buyers sweep the inventory. On top of that, there's the electricity bill. In most urban centers, residential electricity costs have skyrocketed due to energy inflation and tightening grids. Power-hungry cities aren't friendly to miners anymore, and regulators are watching. In the European Union, the environmental crackdown on proof-of-work mining has intensified. Their Green Ledger Act initiative, while not fully implemented yet, is already forcing mining farms to disclose energy use, emissions, and even undergo carbon audits. And it's not just Europe. In North America, especially in places like New York and California, permits are being denied. Local communities are pushing back. Mining is loud, it's hot, it eats energy, and people are starting to treat it like an environmental threat. Bitcoin may be the most decentralized, censorship-resistant money ever created, but the way it's secured, through proof of work, is under the microscope like never before. Now, to be fair, there are still places in the world where mining can work for smaller players. Paraguay's hydroelectric abundance, Kazakhstan's lenient regulations, West Texas, where the sun never stops shining and wind energy creates bizarre pockets of cheap surplus electricity. If you're strategic, you can carve out a profitable niche. But even then, you're at the mercy of mining difficulty. Because every time a new ASIC model is released and deployed en masse, the network's difficulty increases, squeezing everyone else. And here's the brutal irony. As more miners enter the system, everyone earns less. The reward gets smaller, but the fight for it gets fiercer. That's the paradox of mining. The more people believe in it, the harder it gets to make a living from it. It's capitalism layered over cryptography. Now let's step into the other side of this equation. Staking. At a glance, staking almost feels too simple to be true. You take your tokens, lock them up in a protocol, and the blockchain pays you for doing so. No machines, no fans, no heat. Just tokens sitting in a wallet, securing the network while you sleep. That's the dream staking sold to the world when Ethereum switched from proof of work to proof of stake in 2022. But now in 2025, that dream has matured into something far more dynamic and far more profitable. The first thing you need to understand is that staking isn't what it used to be. It's not just a passive act anymore. It's a strategic one. When Ethereum first launched staking, you needed 32 ETH to run a validator node. That barrier was high for the average investor, and most people simply delegated their tokens to a staking pool or trusted a centralized exchange to do it for them. But in recent years, a wave of innovation has changed everything. ushering in liquid staking and a new financial layer that connects staking with decentralized finance. Today, staking doesn't just mean locking your coins. It means earning yield while unlocking additional opportunities. Platforms like Lido, Rocket Pool, and now EigenLayer have created mechanisms where your staked ETH is transformed into liquid derivatives. These tokens, stETH, RETH, or EigenETH, can be used throughout DeFi, traded, borrowed against, farmed. That means your stake is earning in multiple places at once. Your ETH is helping secure the network, but it's also being used as collateral in lending protocols or to earn rewards in yield farms. It's not just passive income anymore. It's active capital deployment on autopilot. And Ethereum isn't the only player in the staking game. Cardano, Solana, Polkadot, Cosmos, Avalanche, they all have robust staking systems that reward holders with native tokens. Some of these systems offer annual yields of 7% to 10%, far outpacing what any bank or bond will ever offer. Sure, the rewards fluctuate, validators vary, inflation plays a role, but in aggregate, staking has become the backbone of the modern crypto economy. More importantly, staking is now mainstream. Institutional players are participating. BlackRock has already partnered with firms offering staking infrastructure. JP Morgan's internal reports now mention staking as a viable yield strategy. And retail adoption? Exploding. Mobile wallets like Coinbase Wallet, Trust Wallet, and Exodus all offer one-click staking. You don't need to understand validators or slashing penalties to get started. You just tap a button. The psychological difference between mining and staking is also worth noting. Mining requires you to constantly manage hardware, worry about temperatures, maintenance, firmware upgrades, and downtime. Staking requires belief in the network and discipline to hold. One is labor-intensive, hardware-bound, and exposed to physical risks. The other is sleek, digital, and woven directly into the heart of Web3. And then there's the matter of regulation. While proof of work faces environmental scrutiny, staking is being viewed far more favorably by governments and ESG-focused investors. Proof of stake is seen as energy efficient, scalable, and future-ready. Even Ethereum's transition from proof of work to proof of stake was celebrated by climate advocacy groups. That matters when you're thinking long-term. That matters when you're deciding where to park your capital for the next 5 years. But don't get it twisted. Staking isn't without risks. You're locking up assets. Some protocols have unbonding periods, days or weeks where you can't touch your tokens. Others rely on validators who, if they misbehave, could get slashed, meaning you lose a portion of your stake. Liquid staking, while powerful, comes with smart contract risks and potential depegging of your derivative tokens. Yet when you compare these risks with the cost, complexity, and regulatory heat that mining now faces, staking emerges as the more accessible, more scalable, and often more profitable strategy in 2025. The game has changed. The tools have changed. The entire economic foundation of Web3 is evolving. What proof of work did for Bitcoin, proving decentralized security through computation, staking is now doing for Ethereum and the modern crypto stack. And while mining may still have its place in securing Bitcoin and anchoring digital scarcity, it's staking that's powering the next wave of financial infrastructure. So, which is more profitable in 2025? If you're a solo investor, staking gives you the ability to earn without overhead, participate in governance, integrate with DeFi, and grow your capital in a clean, regulated way. If you're an infrastructure builder, mining still offers opportunity, but only if you can operate at scale, secure cheap power, and navigate tightening policy landscapes. The contrast couldn't be clearer. One requires cables, cooling, and capital. The other requires conviction, custody, and a click. As we continue through 2025, the divide will only deepen. Mining will consolidate, staking will decentralize, and the winners will be those who understand not just the numbers, but the narrative behind the numbers. So what's more profitable in 2025? Staking is winning, especially for the average investor. It's scalable, clean, and deeply integrated into DeFi. But mining still holds value for those who can play the infrastructure game smart. This isn't a war, it's a shift. And if you're watching this, you're not early, but you're still ahead of the masses. So ask yourself, do you want to power the system or be paid by it? Don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment. Are you team staking or team mining? Let's hear it below. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.